What is up, my friends? Your weekend has started and you are very welcome along to this Friday's Anfield Agenda Premier League predictions. I'm going to take you through the 10 games, do my best to predict the results. Feel free to play along in the comment section at home. Drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, and of course we would love you to hit that subscribe button. So we have a full complement of 10 games this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let's start off with the first one up and see if we can't get in some of these predictions right. So Manchester City against Crystal Palace is the first game of the weekend. And a year ago, well, this would have been a very easy prediction. And I sat here and told you that Manchester City are going to swat Crystal Palace aside. It's going to be easy and Haaland will probably have scored a hat-trick. But times have changed. Oliver Glasner's side, at least up until last weekend, were the second most informed team in the Premier League after the last 10 games, just behind Liverpool. Manchester City, well, they've been stumbling all season. They do still have the FA Cup and they're going to want to focus on Champions League qualification. So, keeping all that in mind, this is what I've gone for. Manchester City with a narrow 2-1 victory, maybe even a brace here from Omar Marmoush. That's how confident I am in this one. But let me know what you guys think. Agree with my prediction? Think it might be a draw? Maybe a Palace win? Let me know in the comments. Next up, Brighton and Hove Albion against Leicester City. A Leicester City that are looking doomed to go back down to the Championship. Ruud van Nistelrooy may not even see out the season. It hasn't been the Premier League campaign that they would have wanted coming back up. And I kind of do think of the Foxes as a Premier League club. So a little bit disappointed they're going to go back down without much of a fight, to be honest. On the other side of the coin, Brighton are chasing European football this season. They have shown inconsistencies and certainly they've been vulnerable defensively, conceding lots of goals. But they do have a young up-and-coming manager who certainly knows what he's doing. So in this one, my score prediction is Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Leicester City 0. And I don't think that that's an unrealistic one, to be honest. Leicester City have just looked all over the place. And Brighton, well, they're going to want to get as many points as they can between now and the end of the season. I mean, that is a top level of punditry right there. Imagine a football club wanting to get all the points that they can before the end of the season. It's what you come here for, isn't it? This in-depth knowledge that I'm dropping on you. Football clubs wanting points in the league table. You know, you heard it here first. Next up, Nottingham Forest against Everton. And again, this could have been spoken about at the start of the season as a potential relegation battle, a potential 6-pointer at the latter part of the season. But we've seen Nottingham Forest safely took themselves away in the Champions League positions for a long time now. Nuno's side looking pretty good. And under David Moyes, well, Everton looked like a different side again up until Liverpool beat them, thankfully, in the Merseyside derby. Everton were in great form coming into it, unbeaten, I think, in 9 or 10. So this was a difficult one to call. Ultimately, though, I do think Nottingham Forest will just about get the job done. I'm going for a very narrow 1-0 victory here for Nuno's side. And I think they will get that Champions League spot. And let's be honest, who would have thought any of us would have been talking about Nottingham Forest qualifying for the Champions League at the end of the campaign? I mean, what a situation that is. And what a result for Nuno and his players. And, of course, the Forest fans. Next up, Southampton against Aston Villa in what should be a relatively straightforward game for Unai Emery's men. They have the distraction, of course, of Paris Saint-Germain coming to Villa Park. They've got a 2-goal deficit to overturn there if they're to book their place in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Southampton, well, the manager's gone, second win of the season, I think, if I've kept count. They're also relegated down in record time back down to the Championship. So there's not really a lot to be upbeat about there for Southampton, and I think that'll be reflected in the scoreline. So I'm going to go Aston Villa 3, Southampton 1. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that one. And Saints fans, are you expecting to be able to come back up, or what's the situation with the coach? Who do we think's coming in? I've seen David Wagner's name mentioned, obviously Jurgen Klopp's mate. Would he do a job, Saints fans? Let me know in the comments. Right, Arsenal against Brentford in another difficult game. Obviously, Arsenal, in my opinion, should be focusing completely now on the Champions League. What a result they had against Real Madrid. An absolutely unbelievable game. 3-0 to take over to the Santiago Bernabeu. And I think they'll get the job done, in all honesty. I can't see them falling apart and conceding 3 or 4 goals. So for me, Arsenal should remain focused on that. But Brentford never easy. Thomas Frank's side, very difficult to play against. Always going to work hard and always going to keep you honest. So I'm going to go for a narrow Arsenal victory in this one. 2-1 is what I'm going for. Where did I come up with Everton there, ladies and gentlemen? But yeah, an Arsenal victory by 2-1. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And Again, do you think there's any chance that Arsenal will capitulate over in Madrid? I don't see it personally. I don't think this Madrid side are good enough to rip them apart. I think Arteta's men will be more than capable of soaking up some of that pressure. Right, we move on now to Chelsea against Ipswich Town. Ipswich, another side looking like they're destined to go back down to the Championship and likely lose their star forward Liam Delap, who has that £30 million relegation clause. On the other side, Maresca's men have one vision and one vision only, and that is to get themselves back into the Champions League, where Todd Bowley, well, he needs that money, doesn't he? They look like they're going to waltz their way to victory in the Europa Conference League, but in this one, it's surely going to be a one-sided affair. I cannot see anything other than a home victory, so I'm going to go for a Chelsea win by 2-0, and quite frankly, it could be more than that, but when the lap's on the other side, you may grab a goal as well, but I can't see it other than a Chelsea win, so I'm going to go for a clean sheet and a 2-0 win. Next up, we move to my side, Liverpool against West Ham United, a side that have been, well, fairly generous to us in games this season, 5-0 and 5-1. We need to respond after the loss to Fulham last weekend. The players are going to be getting a boost, obviously, with the Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk contract extensions that are coming up. You hope that Anfield responds and the guys go out, put on a confident display, and hopefully put West Ham to the sword. On the other side of the coin, look, West Ham again have had a mixed season. Graham Potter has come in, and it will take time. He'll have to go into the market, start to build his own team. If they can keep Jarrod Bowen and a couple of those West Ham players together, you never know what's capable for them. Maybe they'll be challenging for European places again next season. But for this one, it's going to be a comfortable home victory in my eyes. So I'm going to go for Liverpool to win by 4-1. Next up, Wolves against Spurs. And look, Spurs 1-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Keep an eye on Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool fans, and that one scored at the game. And the other side of the coin, Wolves probably safe now after the victory over Ipswich Town. Obviously, Matheus Cunha going to want to start repaying the faith of those Wolves fans as well after his sending offs. In this game, though, I think it has draw written all over it, in all honesty. So that is exactly what your prediction is going to be. I'm going to go Wolves 1, Spurs 1. And next up, on the Monday night game, I believe, Newcastle against Manchester United. United, of course, maybe this isn't the Monday one. It's one of the latter games of the weekend anyway. Newcastle United against Manchester United. Newcastle absolutely full of confidence, having won the League Cup and again looked really good the other day. They're going to want to make sure that they get that Champions League football and the money that comes with it to keep the likes of Isak and keep building their squad. United, well, again, for me, they should focus on the European adventure. They've got Lyon coming to Old Trafford after a 2-2 draw over in France. So I think United should rotate a lot and Newcastle should have a fairly handy afternoon. So I am going for a 2-0 victory. Now the actual last game of the weekend, my friends. Bournemouth against Fulham. A game that screams goals to me. A game with two very good young managers. Well, Marco Silva, I don't know how young he is, but young enough. And two very good sides. Obviously, Liverpool found out exactly how good last weekend. Deservedly beaten by Fulham. And Bournemouth, well, again, they're going to want to chase down those European places. Iriola's done a great job. Evan Nielsen finding form second half of the season. This one, I'm going to go Desmond, 2-2, ladies and gentlemen. So that is it for this weekend's Premier League predictions. I've done my bit, now it's over to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And the good news, we will be back to open chat tonight in the late night agenda. Everybody will be able to chat. We're going to keep it to members only on match days, but for the other evening shows now, we've listened to your feedback and we want to make sure everybody feels comfortable and at home. So welcome back along and we'll talk to you tonight at 8:45. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Much love.